Welcome to today's debate on one of the most pressing issue in the digital age, which is the modern business facing privacy challenge. As the companies increasingly rely on the user data to drive innovation, important questions arise like are these data collection practices ethical? Do they represent sound financial decisions and how well do they comply with legal regulations? Today, I will begin with the opposition, where I critically examine these issues, focusing on the ethical, financial, and legal dimension of how tech companies handle user data. Let's start with the ethical consideration. At the heart of the debate on the privacy is the invasion of user anatomy. While the company claims to offer the informed consent, the reality is far more being transparent. According to a 2017 Deloitte survey, by 91% of the users don't even read the terms and conditions. And for the young users, this number climbs to 97%. This raises a fundamental ethical question if the users don't fully understand the extent to which the personal data is being collected, can we truly say that the consent is informed? The algorithms like those behind NexusNet's behavioral prediction algorithm operate in ways that are largely opaque to the public. These systems track not just what users like or share, but also with their browsing behavior, typing patterns, and even the emotional responses. These practices raise a serious ethical questions about the anatomy and the true power dynamics between the corporation and the users. Can we honestly argue that these algorithms are better for the people? Let's now talk about the financial. While the business argue that the data-driven models lead to the innovation and revenues, the financial risk associated with these invasive data practices are substantial. One of the example is like the Facebook analytical scandal. In its wake, the Facebook experienced a notable drop in the user trust with 54% of the users adjusting with their privacy settings and many opting to leave the platform ethically. This erosion of trust has a direct financial consequences. The loss of the users results in decreased engagement, which is like reduces the value for the advertiser, which is one of the primary revenue streams. No matter how advanced a platform's algorithm is, without users, the entire business model collapses. Let's now talk about the legal one. Legally, the situation is more like it's growing more precautious for the companies. The General Data Protection Regulation, which is GDPR in Europe, and the California Consumer Privacy Act, which is CCPA, in the US, represent just the beginning of the stricter data. And it's like represent the data protection laws in the US. The companies that fail to comply with these regulations face fines that creates a reputational damage and also creates a legal action. Another growing concern is the lack of transparency. The lack of transparency around the data collection, it's also a concerning like how the data is collected and how it's the methods of the collection of the data. The many terms of service agreements are often initially made for the users so that the users find it very difficult to understand the extent of the data collected. In the conclusion, the data practices in the tech faces a serious problem. The users often aren't fully aware of how their data is used. Trust is declining and the legal risks are also increasing. So for the long-term companies, for the long term, the companies need to handle the user privacy more responsibly and more clearly. That's all for today. Thank you.